there's a lot of talk around social media. Now, for us as people in their 40s and pushing 50, social media is everything we see on there is kind of like, whatever. But what we fail to realize is that to these younger people, social media is just as real as you and I sitting here talking right now.
It's a huge influence. Yes.
Huge. So for us to say, people in our generation to say, oh, y'all believe everything y'all hear, they do.
Yeah,
they do. They absolutely do. And a lot of times people on social media have more influence over your children and over your spouse than you do.
Absolutely. Preach.
So I think it's really important that right now I want to kind of segue into some of these social media talking points.
Yeah.
And break it down from 50 years of marriage on the screen right here.
We're about to have some fun.
Let's break this down.
Let's do it.
So my first question is to my sister, and then Darius, I want you to jump in. Does your submission have a monetary value? Mm-hmm. You will see on social media a lot of women say, I can't submit to a man making $45,000 a year. He gonna have to bring this and that. He got to bring this and that for me to submit to him because I got to be secure. I can't be secure with $40,000 coming in the house. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely not. The monetary value, because to me, when God said a man who finds the wife find it a good thing, and a woman multiplies, right? Mm-hmm. If you are that woman that God sent to be his wife, it doesn't matter if he started out at 45,000 because you could bring to him the realization of who he truly is. And that can multiply. So the right woman sitting beside that 45,000, I even say $25,000 man can make him a millionaire, right? Yeah. Because it's not what you see, is what you believe. Darius will tell you for the longest time, even in our young 20s, I told him what I saw in him. I know what I see, but I told him what I saw. Monetary value is simply that. Money flows, it's energy. You keep your hands open. Comes and it goes, but the blessings come from above, right?
Yes.
So if she is secure in who she is in God, then she will know when God has sent her Boaz, right? Wherever he is at that point in time is where they're going in the journey. But if she is thinking that she is secured by a dollar amount, that is a fallacy in itself, because just as God brought her, he could take it, because that is not what you should be worshiping.
Yes.
Because we've gone from throughout our marriage where we were both the same rank to me being promoted to an officer and he staying enlisted. And that was where I was making more, right? But it shouldn't change the dynamic. When I came home and I took the Senate hat off, he was still.
Come on now, sis. Come on, sis.
Another moment to pause.
I know that's right. Kiss that beautiful woman.
He's still who God said he is, which is the head of the household. Now, if he's not doing his job, that's a conversation between he and his maker, right? Yeah, but my job is to submit and uplift and tell him who I see him to be as a man of God, right? So I think as a woman, if she is a believer or if she's not, she needs to be secure she is and not depend on what a man makes. Because I tell a lot of young ladies, you're going to miss who God is sending you looking for the material things. Because God knows and Darius knows that we would put money together to get a meal back when we met him. And so if we left it at that, you know, people want what they see, but they don't know where we've been.
So careful what you're saying on so many levels that goes well beyond me and you. Just like I said, in today's society and the things that we tend to hold on to as men and women, it's so easy to miss the importance of this message that was just shared. Now, in the midst of her saying what she's saying as a wife who's making more money at that given time, there's an element of ownership and accountability that should fall on that man to understand the power that's been invested in him as the head of household, to not abuse that that submission, if I may. All right. So he shouldn't take that as an opportunity to come up on his own individual self. No, he should do that in a manner of trusting God, appreciating God for the Proverbs 31 woman that he's been given, and move in a manner that God will be pleasing, despite the fact she's making more money than he is, or whatever the case may be. because we've been on both sides of that, where one was making more money and others. I remember a brother in the church that we met, and well, I say that we were a part of together.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He really spoke against the fact your wife makes more money than you. No, you don't want to do that because whatever reason you are subservient and you're less than a man as a result of it. And I'm paraphrasing what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And I got love for the brother, but I can't. I even when he said it to me back then, more than 15 years ago, it struck me as like, really?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that's not our situation. I think that was a beautifully answered question that you just provided, and that many of us can benefit from.
And needed. Absolutely needed in this conversation, because I'm telling you, to us, we're kind of on the outside of this thing, and we're beyond that now. In our, when she met me, I was making $23,000 a year, and she actually, when we met, we were in the military, so she actually outranked me. I was an E3, she's an E4. Our first date was to Sonic, and she drove. I didn't even have a car. I had just gotten back from overseas. I didn't have a car. I was having trouble getting financing for the vehicle I wanted. But she drove. We had Sonic. I remember what I had. I had a supersonic cheeseburger with onion rings, and I think I had a blue coconut drink. I remember that so well.
Ocean water.
Ocean water, yeah, ocean water.
Ocean water, man, my man. I love your ocean waters, man. My man.
And she drove, and I think that these people want ready-made stuff now. Everybody wants something ready-made. This is built. What you're looking at on the screen, what we're saying, and what you guys saying, has been built. Going from $23,000 a year to what I make now, and us living in a little bitty townhouse to building our own home, and like these people want everything ready-made, and that's not the way life works, people. It isn't.
My brother, you were talking about you started when y'all met. You was making $23,000 a year. When I heard you say that, I'm like, oh, that much? Because
oh my goodness,
when we met, I might have been making half that.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, yeah, man, I was financially embarrassed, man. And so I had to change my vernacular. I had to change the way that I spoke. And she helped me with that, because I used to go around kind of making the turn, hey, I'm broke. And when it comes to broke, and she let me know, hey, don't keep saying that.
That's what a good woman does.
Yeah.
Man, look, I would not be sitting here before you guys. I would not be a two-time author. I would not be where, if it was not for this woman right here sitting beside me. I'm telling you, the man that she married, that young man, had so much potential, and he didn't know. And it took me years of wandering through the desert to figure out who I am. And that's why when you say I'm unapologetic about what I say, that wasn't always the case. I had to become. I was raised in the church, and you always gotta be nice. You gotta be nice. Be a good guy. Don't make waves. Good men make waves, and I love to make waves now. I love it, because I know that people are going to get free. You cannot. Growth and comfort cannot exist in the same place. They can't.
I'm with you, brother. On that wave making. I don't even try to make waves a lot of times, and I end up doing it. And so I roll with it, because I do it because I know where I'm coming from, and I know who supports me in the midst of those waves that have been made. So
absolutely, man.
Before we segue off of this question, Fee, one thing I want to say that really stood out to me, and I hope every woman is paying attention to what you said. You really spoke the language of a wife. You talked about how really being on your post is to see the vision in your man, to really speak that so that he can grab onto it and really see it. I know Habakkuk 2:2 says you write the vision, you make it plain, but sometimes as our leaders, they lose that vision with life, with everything pulling on them and all the influences of this world and all the battles that they're fighting. But as the woman in your husband's life, you saw and you spoke and you encouraged. And I think for any woman that wants the position of headship in the home, she's off her post, because supporting and encouraging and praying and all the things that a wife does, it is a full-time job, and you got to manage your own crazy. So that's a lot of work. So these women that are out of pocket, and I'm a boss chick, and I'm gonna do all of this, and I run this, all of this, you are out of position and you are off your post. Because if you're truly on your post with your man, it is a full-time job, and I ain't got no time to be trying to dominate and run a household, because I am trying to keep my sanity and keep you encouraged, and that is a lot of work. So kudos to you for recognizing that. And again, I hope every woman, every wife hears that, because it is a full-time job. So
my sister, you talking about reaching for some tissue, something like that. Look at almost reach for mine for a minute. And the word that touched me in the midst of what you were just saying is that encouragement. All right. With my wife, when I'm teetering on whether or not I can do this, I'm praying to God, saying, God, give me the strength and the courage to do this. When I bring certain things to my wisdom, my wife, and she says, oh, honey, you can do this. I believe in you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, let's do this then. I'm like, let's go. That's that extra wind beneath my wings to let me know, okay, where I may have been a little bit on the fence on whether or not I should go ahead and do this. When I have that encouragement, and I know it's going to be a genuine encouragement, all right, because she thinks and she has vision, she sees. And when it comes to the things, i.e. the potential that she sees in me, and she says, we can do this. Oh my goodness. I'm ready.
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
And that's the distinction between woman and wife, because he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But if she's not a wife and you can't turn, like you called her wisdom, if you can't turn to wisdom, then why is she there? She's just a pair of thighs. I mean, honestly, and you get to run through. That's what men do. So if you don't find a wife,
well, what, like I said,
you a Saturday night. Thank you. You can get your stuff and go. But
there's
a wife
wives and everything else. That's what it is.
That's
really
gold.
it is.
That's gold.